Welcome to the Chicago Bears Podcast, a presentation of ESPN Chicago, Chicago's home for sports. Here's your host, Pat, the Designer.
Pat and Bears fans, welcome into the Chicago Bears Podcast, a Friday edition. We've got our resident host of Pat and Silvy, and also the Chicago Bears pregame. Mark Silverman in the building. That smile said it all. Silvy, how you doing?
I am great. It is a pleasure to be on with you. Be back here in the podcast headquarters.
You know, we're doing a little something back here.
Yeah.
Eric keeps sneaking stuff back here.
Well, my chairs. First of all,
thank you.
It is a pleasure to be sitting into my chair. For the people who don't know, these are the Pat and Silvy chairs that you see in the office in my videos, and they get wheeled in and out all the time. I walk into the office, I'm like, am I allowed to swear on this, Eric, or no?
A little bit, marginal.
Where are my effing chairs?
Yeah, all right.
I'm like, oh, Pat's got it back there.
If it makes you feel better, I put your chair on that side so that I'm not sitting in it messing up how it feels. You know what I mean?
I'm sure you're really paying attention to which chair is going where. I don't buy that for a second.
So we got to get into Arlington. We're basically getting ready to go to Arlington. What's this next 3 to 5 years going to be like? We got to talk about what are you feeling with everything that's happened with polls in the draft. And then, I mean, listen, I want to get into the personal side of this because I have very young children. You have young children. They're going to get to possibly see something that we haven't seen. We may actually have a franchise quarterback.
Yes.
What is all that going to be like? All that and more on today's episode of the Chicago Bears Podcast. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the page, and please, please, please make sure that you're listening Monday through Friday on the ESPN 1000 app.
First quarter.
Let's get into this, man. I want to start here. First off, one thing that I really have seen you be so excited about around the office. You are going to be the host of the pregame for ESPN and the Chicago Bears. What is that feeling like?
Well, I mean, it's the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
This is the Chicago Bears podcast.
Yeah.
This is the Chicago Bears. It's Chicago. It's the team in town. When ESPN 1000 first started in 1998, I was recruited from WGN Radio. I had a great gig. I was covering the Bears. At one time, they were home of the Bears. I was covering Michael Jordan and the Bulls. I covered 3 championships there as a reporter. And it took a lot to bring me here as a new radio station. It really was, a leap of faith. Yeah. And what they recruited me on was one day to host my own show on the weekends at that time. But I was recruited to be a Bears reporter. So I got to be the Bears reporter and then report on the Bears pregame show. And then ultimately I became the host of the Bears pre and postgame shows.
Right.
And that's my root. Those are my roots.
Yeah.
As much as I've done in this business, doing reporting on the Bears, being the pregame show host. I'm not doing postgame, but I've done many postgame shows and covered Platteville. I've covered Bourbonnais. I've spent multiple years at each Hallis Hall, the old Lake Forest college campus, the new Hallis Hall. When that was built, I moved in there. So this is where I've been brought up. Yeah. As a reporter in this years and years ago. So I'm going back to my roots. This is something that I love. And I feel like for this as a radio station, because I go back and going in at this radio station at the very beginning, that we're now at the perfect time with this Bears team getting, as they're growing roots now with polls, with Kevin Warren, with hopefully building this brand new building with Justin Fields, which you alluded to, that now we're getting somewhere with this team that it's the perfect time to get in with this team. And I just feel that everything's coming together at the right time.
I've heard that you're a big you're a big Saturday into Sunday wine and tequila.
Yeah.
How's that?
You've heard?
How's that? I've heard through the grapevine.
Yes.
How's that going to change your Saturdays?
You got any tips? I mean, I'm still, it's a work in progress.
I mean, do you go old school radio on them though? Like listen, I know a lot of the old school radio guys, like it's a Dunkin' Donuts cup when it's not, you know what I mean? No chance. No chance. Good call.
I think the plan right now is, and I love going out for a great Saturday dinner.
Yep.
I love getting my drink on, drinking some wine, having dinner, having a glass of tequila after dinner. That's not going to fly on a Saturday night when there's game day on a Sunday morning. Because when I get there, and I heard Thayer, and I want Thayer to tell this story. I didn't know about this either. Thayer supposedly gets to Soldier Field at like 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning.
Oh yeah,
he's
told that a couple
times.
Yeah,
and he's told you.
He said it when we all met together. He was like, I make the first pot of coffee at Soldier Field. I'm like, you know where the coffee's at? Like what? Like,
yeah, that's crazy. So I'm not going to start I'm not beating him there.
Yeah.
But the early bird gets the worm. Yeah. And I want to get to Soldier Field. And while the network pregame show starts at 10, I'm not rolling in at 9:30. I'm not rolling in at 9. I want to be on the field before the game.
Yeah.
I want to catch what the workouts are. I'd like to chat with some coaches or scouts or a player or two and find out what the vibe is. You know, we joke all the time about our show's pre-show fist fight. You know, I want to ease into the day and not rush into the day. I want to check what Soldier Field is like, maybe do a lap around the South parking lot. Like, these are all the things that there's nothing like a Bears game day. There's only 10 dates on the calendar, and hopefully more with a playoff game. But when you count preseason games, and then the home dates, depending on the way the schedule goes, there's not a lot of these. So when I get to Soldier, I want to be able to take it in. So my point is, I'm going to have to move the tequila and the wine to Friday nights or something like that. The social endeavors are going to change. And yes, this is going to be fun. Look, I'm not doing construction.
You're not roofing in July.
No,
you know
this isn't. I'm not in the hot sun. I'm not doing any sort of roofer's work or construction work, but I'm not going to be getting hammered the night before a Bears game. Just like I wouldn't want the players to get hammered before a game.
Well, as a former construction worker, never mind. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. Look, my dad was an electrician.
I'm not gonna snitch on myself on the podcast.
My dad was an electrician worker. That's how I was brought up. I'm a blue collar guy. He was IBEW. You know, so this is the way I was brought up. You got to put in a good day's work.
You got to, man. That's how I got here. I mean, I was an electrician, journeyman electrician. So. It's you start your days early, you finish your days late, and then you start them all over again. But I think that we got the one thing that I love about what's coming with all of the coverage that we have, yours included, is that it's not just people covering the sport who, okay, I came from somewhere else and now I got to cover this team because they told me to. We're Bears fans.
Right.
We've been through the ups and downs. We've been through the, hey, what's going on with Jay Cutler? Why is he throwing that? Why can't we get him a left tackle? We've been through the, why in the world is the defense this bad all of a sudden with Mel Tucker? And now, right, like we're trying to make this comeback. And the one thing that I'll say about us all starting to work together on the Bears is it feels too good to be true. We're almost telling ourselves, I feel like every Bears fan is telling themselves, like, we'll just wait. We'll see what the other side's like. I kind of like this, but am I supposed to have hope? Am I supposed to, like, doesn't that feel like the vibe of the city right now?
Well, look, we want to grab onto something. I mean, we just want something true to believe in. I've always joked about wherever you live in the city. You've always seen a pop-up store come around. Hey, for the next 2 weeks, we're starting this pop-up donut store. It's only going to be around for 2 weeks to make these really cool donuts, but after 2 weeks, it's gone. So this food truck is coming by, but then after, a couple weeks in July, it's gone. that's how I equate the Bears' success.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll go back even before you. Like in the 80s, we had sustained success, but like the 2001 Bears that I covered, I loved that team. I loved that team so much. A young Brian Urlacher, Roosevelt Colvin, Ted Washington, Keith Traylor, young Mike Brown, Tony Parrish, that defense. It was a pop-up and it was the 1 year and then that was it. And Dick Duran gets fired. We had the couple years with Lovey in 05 and 06, got to the Super Bowl, but 07, 08, 09 were terrible. 10 came around, get to the NFC Championship game, 11 and 12 underachievement, Lovey gets gone, and then no playoffs, and then 18 comes, and then we're sitting at Bears 100, and we're thinking 18's a building block. We've got Khalil Mack, we've got this great defense, and Mitch is gonna get better, and that was a pop-up. And we just want something that we're going to be able to build around. And I think because of polls, and hopefully now that they've got someone, and you've heard me yell.
You were the one person in the city that always went at Ted. You were like, Ted can't be excused.
It's got to be at the top. And someone's got to set the right tone at the top. We can't do mom pop business. We've got to have a leader that means business. And Kevin Warren, what he's accomplished, the Minnesota Vikings, with the St. Louis Rams, with the Detroit Lions, with the Big Ten. And he's got big picture, and I thought that George took a step with Arlington Heights. And now we've got a true leader, hopefully, to navigate through all of this. Polls still has to pick the right players. Like this draft has to be something, but I believe the way they've built out everything and not run it like a dollar store, that I think that they're going to hopefully make us all believers. I hope. Now, the first thing we got to see is when Justin takes the field in 2023, has he made those improvements? Is he processing better? And will the weapons around him make him look even more better? But those are all the things that I think are going to validate the hope that the fans have had.
Let's get your thoughts on it, though, right? You said him on the radio for sure, but haven't heard him here on the pod. When you look at what Ryan Poles has done, where's your confidence level? I've asked just about everybody this. Where's your confidence level and what you've seen in the entire offseason? I'd say, right, let's take it back even further. What he's done since he's gotten here, to me, the first move of Khalil Mack gave me so much confidence in him, just because how the heck did you convince the Chargers to take the money? Like that was the beginning point where I was like, maybe this guy actually knows what he's doing a little bit. Where's your confidence level and what they're actually building right now?
I fought with fans about it. Sometimes you got to take a step back to take 5 forward. And people bellyached about that. People bellyached about Robert Quinn. You got to pick for Robert Quinn. What did Robert Quinn do with the Eagles afterwards?
Did he get one sack? Maybe?
No, I don't even know if he did. One. And like what I was worried about is I would have traded Robert Quinn even earlier when you
could have got a little bit more.
I don't know if he did or not. It just seems like that there's a method to his plan, and I don't want to say madness because I don't believe it is madness, because I do believe that there's a plan to everything he's done. The way he went into the combine this year, I believe there was a true plan there. Conventional wisdom said, hold on to the pick for as long as possible. Don't trade it to the very end. He had a plan though, and there was rationale behind the plan, and he heard DJ Moore, and he got a pick for next year. Now there's a plan set up for next year. If Justin takes the next step, now the Bears have 2 first-round picks to build and to continue to surround Justin. If he doesn't, now you've got a plan to maybe go out and get another quarterback. There's a method to all of this, and I love it. And he's not going to hit on all the picks. Velus Jones is a good example of that. And look, you get it. Not every look. John Schneider in Seattle just had a great draft last year. He went 3 or 4 drafts where he wasn't turning it around. But he built the Legion of Boom. All the general managers are going to have misses. And what I've loved so far about Ryan Poles is he hasn't jumped at all these picks and said, I got to trade up and get this pick. I got to trade up and get that pick. He continues to trade back. He continues to be methodical. And if one does miss, there's multiple other picks that could hit.
Yeah.
So far, I love it. Now, that doesn't mean in 3 years from now, when we look back, we won't.
We love pace in 2018.
Look,
right?
yeah. Look, people always say to me that it's hindsight, Silvy. It's hindsight. Isn't that the exact nature of how we judge the draft?
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
The way we judge all drafts and personnel moves are judging in hindsight.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this. We want a guy who's going to get it right. He doesn't have to get it right on 100% curve, but let's get it right 70% of the time.
Yeah.
And I think we'll all be pretty happy.
I mean, even it's just getting those key guys, right? Like as we get into the second quarter here.
Second quarter.
Getting those key guys to me that aren't just your stars. We've had the big net. We've had Khalil Mack, right? We've had Akeem Hicks. But like to me, the pieces of that team that developed because of those players that were able to make it was all of a sudden your DB room looks a lot better because there's pressure on the quarterback. All of a sudden, right, Eddie Jackson's an all-pro player because there's pressure on the quarterback. And I think, right, when you start to look at what Poles did in the draft, do you feel like we got some of those, the glue guys that are going to make the other guys better, right? I think Tremaine Edmonds is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be really hard if he's got to fight through linemen to try to get to the quarterback, or he's got to cover a wide receiver for 6 seconds.
Right. You know, but even still, Jack Sanborn as an undrafted free agent with no pressure on the quarterback still looked pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so there is hope now with Edwards and Edmonds and
Yeah.
Sanborn and what they've built. And I think they did still attack the line.
Yeah.
They didn't do everything. They definitely need edge. You can't do
Yeah.
everything. You hit it on the head right there. You can't do everything. They did what they can. They did it in a methodical way. They didn't reach. They didn't overpay for some of the guys. And now he's improved the offensive line. Hopefully these tackles that he got in the second round will be really good. And then now we'll zero in, not we, but the Bears will zero in now on some more rush ends, because now he's checking off boxes on things that hopefully will get better as we see through this year.
Yeah, he said he felt yesterday, me and Courtney talked about it, he said he felt like he checked off a lot of boxes this offseason. I think, to me, when he says that, what I'm hearing is I've checked off enough boxes for us to judge what we have.
Yeah.
It's not I've checked off enough boxes for this team. I saw a couple people in the comments, well, the team still isn't good, but, you know, it's like, listen, that's not what the goal of this season is. You want to find out if Justin Fields can play football at this level, or if he's just right what Lamar Jackson is right now. Lamar Jackson, of course, had the MVP season, but the last couple of years he's just been running for his life because they haven't invested in a line. They haven't invested in him getting receivers. I look at what Ryan Poles is doing right now as I'm going to eliminate every single excuse that you could come to the table with and say, well, you didn't give me this. You didn't listen. At the end of the day, we joked about Lamar all offseason, like you missed this money, you didn't do this. He got paid because he literally could go to the table and say, give me a receiver. Give me an offensive line. I'm not running for my life then. Ryan Poles eliminated all of that. And so now I think we're at the point in season 3 where I'm looking at Justin Fields and I'm like, okay, what can you do?
Absolutely. And so right now, look at where you're better. You've got now a number 1 wide receiver in what you got with the trade with Carolina.
Yeah.
And now hopefully Mooney comes back healthy. Now Mooney is in the perfect spot.
Yeah.
Mooney's a good 2. And if he's healthy, he's going to be even better in that spot because he's not forced to be something that he's not.
Yeah.
Now Chase Claypool with another year, and hopefully he's out there learning and knowing where to be. And hopefully he's getting reps in this offseason with Justin.
Yeah.
And now he's in that spot. And now you've got another tight end to go along with Cole Kmet. And now your depth there with 2 guys. And what he's been able to do in Green Bay is his catch radius is off the charts.
Yes.
And he catches balls, and a Chicago area kid two young guys, and you didn't commit to him long term.
Yeah.
He's also playing for a contract as well. So you've got two good tight ends now. You've improved the offensive line. I love the running back room.
Yeah.
In the 4th round, you get a running back that everybody universally loved what the Bears did.
Yeah.
You have now a guy in Foreman that I think is awesome in what you did. You didn't reach like Detroit did for running backs. They drafted a running back high, and in my opinion, they paid too much for Monty.
Oh my God.
So
were you sitting there like we all were at the draft party, just like, did they just take a running back?
Yeah.
And like, Pat, like what's going on there? Like,
yeah. So the Bears paid a 4th round pick.
Yeah.
And I thought they got a cost-effective running back who did as much in a half a season replacing McCaffrey as anybody.
Yeah.
And so now with Herbert, Foreman, and Rashawn Johnson. Yeah, Rashawn Johnson. Thank you. And I love the depth in that room.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I just love the depth of the offense. It's still not premier. Justin can make it premier. If Justin is great, he can make it premier.
Yes. To me, that's the right. Listen, I love Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is an amazing quarterback. Juju Smith-Schuster is not that good of a wide receiver. He was a main weapon in a Super Bowl run, right? Sky Moore is a rookie in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be ready for that moment. He was very key to them winning the Super Bowl. Good quarterbacks make good receivers.
Sure. And like Juju's best year in Pittsburgh was when Ben Roethlisberger was still dealing.
When he was Ben.
Yeah.
When he still could throw the ball. So I feel like, right, and that's the biggest thing I want to see. It's not so much if Justin, to me, right, I feel like I've seen enough to say Justin Fields can throw the football. I've seen enough passes go through guys' hands that hit them in the chest and it bounced up.
Yes.
Seen enough passes where, hey, why aren't you getting your body behind that ball? You're trying to reach out and grab it. It goes through his hands where the drive is over. Passes are complete. Somebody gets a turnover. To me, my question isn't if Justin Fields can get the ball to these guys. My question with Justin Fields right now is, okay, can you make the guys that are okay receivers, right? Nequinamius St. Brown, can you turn him into a good receiver? You're good receivers. Right now, I think DJ Moore is a good receiver. I don't know if he's a great receiver. I've never seen him with a real quarterback. Can you make DJ Moore a great receiver? Can you make him a number one? Because guess what? The one question that I have on DJ Moore is he comes into me with the same resume Allen Robinson had. And he never really turned into this great receiver here. A guy who has been with bad quarterback play and could put up 1,000 yards.
I think DJ Moore maybe is a tad better than Allen Robinson.
I think he's better. I think he's better. But, you know, like that same resume.
Yeah, no, I
like
get
Blake
it.
Bortles.
Right,
and,
for sure. The worst quarterbacks. I've always said Allen Robinson played with the worst quarterbacks of all time. Going back to college. He's
never had anything. That's a tough career. Well, he's got Kenny Pickett this year.
Yeah. But I know I don't know what's happened to A-Rob either. I
think A-Rob's thing was I'm bigger than you. I can out jump you. He never was a speed demon. I think that's the one thing DJ Moore does have over him. DJ Moore's fast.
Yeah, and he plays quick.
Yeah.
And like I'm just excited to see where it could go. But going back to your point is yes, that's what we're going to see.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a true test of what Justin is. The offense is going to be better, and hopefully in these 1-score games, they're either winning these games and don't need that last drive to score, or on the last drive, they're going to be able to execute and score instead of coming up short. Or Justin won't have to run for all these yards because he's going to be able to throw it a little bit more because he's got more weapons all over the place.
Yeah. No,
it's like a whole domino effect on it should make everything better.
And everybody's got to be a part of it. That's when we had Waddle on, I had him break down everything it takes just to make a 5-yard pass.
Yeah, right.
It all goes into it. I mean, Waddle's amazing, but it all goes into Justin's success. And I love that he's putting guys in, right? Like me and Courtney talked about it. The one thing I hated about Ryan Pace was he would draft the left tackle and say, go play on the right side. He would draft a center
away.
and say, play guard.
Always.
And it was like, why?
And then change the next year. And now let's do it differently the next year.
Yeah. Why are we putting guys in positions that they never played in their lives? And I'd see Ryan Poles come on, and he's like, we're drafting a right tackle.
To play the right tackle.
What's he supposed to play? He's probably going to play right tackle. We're going to test him everywhere. He's probably going to play right tackle.
Yes.
Like, that to me is a game changer, and it allows everybody to be comfortable where they're at, which I think allows Justin to be better.
Yes. And he's not he's not got a havoc guy either.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that I stressed earlier, that Ryan Pace was got to have that guy.
Yeah.
And he would not only, it was one thing that he had to have all these guys, but he had to have Leonard Floyd, and he had to trade up for Leonard Floyd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or he had to have
bidding
Anthony
with himself,
Miller.
basically.
He had to have Anthony Miller,
Yes.
but he had to trade next year's second-round pick to get Anthony Miller.
Yeah.
So it just made things, when they didn't turn out, it made the bust factor of missing that pick and then giving up all that for that pick even worse.
He was Jay Hay as a GM, right? Swinging for the fences, and if he made contact, it might go a long way, but then it would fall. It would 10 yards short.
It would usually be a 4-6-3 double play.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like you're swinging as hard as you can. It's like, oh, it didn't go anywhere. All right, cool.
And like Jay Hay, who's like jacked and has, looks so big, like Ryan looked the part, and he has the hair, and you would think like this dude should, and then he gets to the podium, and you're like, no, he's not that bright.
What was the pace conversation? How would the pace conversations go at the podium?
We're fired up. We're really fired up.
Ryan, how you feel about the first round pick you made, second overall, that you didn't get a right tackle for?
Yeah.
Oh, I just, sometimes, and then the word salad was heavy at Soldier Field. We haven't gotten a ton of that even.
No,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I do like that.
And again,
Ryan's a little too honest. Poles is a little too honest sometimes to me.
But it's fine. Like whether you give me word salad, whether you're too honest, if Ryan Poles builds me a football team, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when the press conference, if Ryan Pace won or lost every press conference, if he would have built me a football team, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
Just build me a football team. And that's all I care about. And then we make fun because he sucked and he gave word salad. Same with Matt Nagy.
Yeah, it was tough times out there. Hopefully we're on the other side of that as we get into the halftime here, heading into the third quarter. Silvy, halftime is the time for you to plug anything you got going on, anything going for yourself, anywhere that people should be meeting you guys up. What do you got going on, Silvy?
I don't think there's a lot going on. I think Eric, I think we're going to Riley's daughter in like a couple of weeks. In 2 weeks, but I'll have more on that on the show.
Okay. Doing
a lot of charity events these days. On Monday, I am emceeing an event for the Center for Enriched Learning for people with disabilities. I'm very excited about that. That's Chef's Night that I'm emceeing, and it helps people with disabilities. I don't know if you know this, but the state of Illinois, as far as funding, is like 49th out of 51. That includes the 51st. I'm trying to think, including Puerto Rico. Is as far as states that fund help for adults with disabilities, and that's where this center, which is near my home in the Riverwoods area, helps out.
Yeah.
So I'm emceeing. I'm really happy to be a part of the cause, and I can't wait till Monday to see all the smiling faces, and we're going to raise a ton of money.
I love that. Got to give back. As we head into the third quarter here.
Third quarter.
This is to me the thing that signifies the most what's really happening with the Chicago Bears. Finally breaking away from the Park District.
Yeah.
Finally saying, hey, we want to own a stadium that we can actually make money off of, not just the team that's in that stadium. What does Arlington Heights to you signify over the next 3 to 5 years? The fact that we're now that everything is now actually in motion, that Kevin Warren is here to lead the way. What does all of that signify to you that the Bears are heading into?
It means hope.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Cubs fan. You're a Sox fan,
Sox
right?
fan, yeah.
When
I don't have a lot of hope these days.
I know. There's not a lot of hope with either team. Like Cubs fan, a little more. They haven't played well lately, but you know, when Theo came with the Cubs, they put their rebuilding of the team next to the rebuilding of Wrigley.
Yeah.
And I thought it was perfect because they were rebuilding their team along with rebuilding Wrigley. And I kind of like the parallel with the Bears too, that they deserve a first-class building. We as a fan base deserve a first-class building. We deserve the first-class amenities. We deserve first-class tailgating. Not all Bears fans who want to tailgate can tailgate.
Yeah.
There's not enough tailgate passes to go around for all Bears fans. There's not enough seats to go around for all Bears fans. It's the second smallest or the smallest in the entire NFL at 61,500.
Yeah.
It, as we know, when we want to leave Soldier Field, whether you're on foot, you're going through a maze with all those gates up, and what should be a 10-minute walk takes probably a half hour.
And don't call an Uber.
Right.
You're not getting it.
You can't get an Uber. Whether you're in those parking lots, you can only go north or south. And sometimes if you want to go north, sometimes they only send you south because there's already too many people going north. You know, the lake is to the east, the railroad tracks are to the west.
Yeah.
There's only two places you can go because of that. Like it's everything's against you.
Yeah.
Not enough bathrooms. It's everything. And then, you know, the weather factor. And I know a lot of people still like being outdoors, but
Bear weather ain't real.
yeah, we know that.
Bear weather's not real.
Most people like the.
I don't know. I don't know if most people believe that. I think people really believe winter matters.
I still think, you know, that I think it's still a loud minority.
Yeah.
Like I think people realize that San Francisco has gone into here, and more recently, because we don't have a lot of playoff experience, more recently San Francisco's gone up to Green Bay and kicked their ass too.
Yeah.
But like I always say this, in the middle of January when it's 20 degrees outside, do you go to your favorite restaurant and do you ask them for a table for two on their beer patio?
No.
And the answer is no. No one wants to eat outdoors on the beer patio in Chicago in December or January. Why do you want to watch a football game outside? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to go to the United Center and watch an outdoor basketball game. When we go to the United Center, you want to take your coat off and you want to be warm and you want to enjoy a beer and you just want to be comfortable. When I went to a Milwaukee Bucks game with my kids. And you know what was awesome about that, Pat, is when I parked, their parking was attached to their new building.
Yep.
So when I parked, we left the jackets inside because we didn't have to cross streets or anything. So we got out of the car in the parking garage. We went right into the tunnel, which attached to the building, and we were never cold.
Yeah.
So now we didn't have to have the jackets on the back of our seats taking up space.
Yeah.
So now not only could we take our jackets off, we didn't even have to take our jackets in. So now we had more space in our seats.
Comfortable at the game.
We're comfortable.
Yeah.
All these things. And then now if we build an entertainment district, we've got tailgating, we've got an entertainment district, we've got easier roads in and out. We've got creature comforts. Like it should be everything, and hopefully more money for our Bears, which means more good things for the players, which means more good things for winning.
Yeah.
It hopefully this is the direction. And now we've got a leader who's been through all this before and knows how to make it work.
I think your Cubs example is the perfect example, right? Because listen, they win the World Series. They go through some tough years. They have to make some tough decisions on Bryant, Rizzo, all of that, right? But now you're kind of getting to a point where it's like, okay, he's actually trying to rebuild this team. A quick turnaround. You can't have those quick turnarounds without money.
Now go after Shohei. That's for another podcast.
Listen,
I know that.
Listen,
I'm greedy.
I'm also greedy, but the problem is Jerry Reinsdorf is more greedy.
He's not going to do it.
He's not going to give me Shohei. He's not going to give me Shohei. I feel like with Arlington now, it's like you said before, the Bears aren't a mom and pop organization anymore. Everything's been so mom and pop. And I think the Bears are a little different. I do think the Bears have spent money. I think the Bears have spent money in the wrong places with a lot of players. They've spent money on players that just haven't performed here in Chicago or just didn't fit the scheme and they paid for the name. But I think now the fact, like you said, starting at the top, going out and getting Kevin Warren, somebody that's going to facilitate you through this, who's not only just a really good president, but also is a really good football mind as well. Yes. Right? Ted was money-wise, Ted's fine, right? Ted was, he could
let him work the cap.
He could work the cap. He could make sure you didn't overspend. He was fine. He had just about as much knowledge about football as the family.
Right. And he was the guy that they were going to. So it was a football family that didn't know much about football.
Yeah.
Consulting with a president who, like you just said, knew just about as much as football as the family.
Yeah.
So when your guy that you lead on knows as very little about football as the family, how are you really leaning on that?
And they're picking the GM.
Now, right.
And Chris Ballard's now in Indianapolis, you know.
And you wonder why you end up with Pace instead of Ballard.
Yeah.
And Ballard's got his warts.
Yeah.
Or how you end up with Trustman instead of Arians.
Yeah.
Or how you continuously end up with the wrong guy making the decisions, picking the wrong quarterbacks. These are the reasons. And now you've got a big thinker in the building.
Yeah.
And a guy who's run businesses at a high level, a leader of men. And again, he's not football, but he's football.
Yeah.
And he's big business. And again, they're finally thinking big with the hire. They're finally thinking big with the stadium. And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled about all this. Think about, again, for the city people who, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to drive to Arlington Heights? What about tailgate trains? Every 10 minutes leaving Union Station. Let's do express trains.
Yeah.
Union Station, Arlington Heights. You're going to rebuild that whole train station in Arlington Heights as they demolish. And let's do a tailgate train. Let's put Miller Lite, the official beer sponsor of the Chicago Bears, on all the train cars, and everybody tailgates on the train, and let's go. It's 20 minutes from Union Station up to Arlington Heights.
I think the Bears got to go all the way. Buy the naming rights for the city. Hallis Heights isn't. All right, come on.
Oh, for the entire city.
The whole city.
You're not even talking about the stadium. You are going to name the city.
Rename the city. Hallis Heights.
Hallis Heights.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Come on. Somebody's going to say that on the radio.
Yeah, that's good. I'll give you credit. I don't steal here.
Listen.
There are a few people who will remain nameless.
Oh boy,
who will steal
shots.
I will not steal. I will cite. I will give credit.
I appreciate it. No, I just think that, right, like, it's, what are you going to think of Arlington
Heights?
What are you going to think of Arlington Heights as now? Beartown. You're going to go to Arlington Heights for the Bears.
Yeah.
Unless you live there. And now everybody who lives there, their entire life is going to be built around the Bears.
My one question I was having with somebody the other day is, do you move their practice facility there? They just spent $100 million on their practice facility, which is gorgeous, which is awesome.
How far is Lake Forest from or no, where's Hallis now? Hallis is
Lake Forest.
It's Lake Forest, yeah.
So
how far is Lake Forest?
Still a good
15,
20 minutes. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad, but if you had everything all there, it could make things a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And you've got a blank slate of what you could build. You could build practice fields right next to it. I think that's how the Patriots and the Bengals and some of the other teams do it. But
that'd be tough because they just opened that up.
I know.
that would actually be tough.
Hallis is beautiful.
I love Hallis. I've been there for training camp a couple of times. Let's get in a quick fourth quarter here as we close this thing out.
Fourth quarter.
Silvy, the one thing that people are going to get to experience, at least in my belief, that we have yet to experience, that our children are going to get to experience. Do you believe we have a franchise quarterback?
I think we have a franchise quarterback. I believe he's got to show me stuff. I mean, I'm not like blind faith guy.
You're not going all in on it?
I'm in. I mean, what's the difference between in and all in? The guy does things that...
There's a joke there.
Is there a jump? Like
I said there's a joke there.
In and all in.
There's a joke there.
What's the joke?
We'll leave it alone.
Give me your best one.
No,
give me your best one.
What's the difference between in and all in? About 3 inches.
Okay, all right. I don't know if I've got 3 more though.
Oh boy, here we go.
You know, the splash plays he can do things that not a lot of guys can do.
Yeah.
He can do those things. And like for the people who dismiss the running, I think it's so dumb.
You're not watching modern day football.
No, you're not.
I would question those people this. Who's a stand behind the pocket quarterback that's young?
You got to have an athletic quarterback who can run.
Is there any?
I don't want him to
maybe.
I don't want him to rush for 1,100.
500.
But yeah, or
500.
like or time and place. Like when the game's on the line and you need first downs or you need scores or you're in the red zone and you know that you have to watch the quarterback because he could run and score at any time. Yeah. That is huge. And it was huge for the Philadelphia Eagles. But when Jalen Hurts was slinging that football in the Super Bowl, you know, Mahomes gives it to you still. Yeah. He's not as nearly as fast or athletic as Hurts or Justin, but he'll still run when needed. Like you have to be able to run today.
His biggest play in the Super Bowl was that rush to the left side,
with
right?
Bad ankle. Yep.
Yeah, he gets him into the position. You have to be. And here's the one thing that I'll say to me about Justin Fields. This is the first time he's getting an opportunity to play in a system for 2 years in a row.
Yes.
Familiarity is going to change his entire game to me. Because there were times last year, I said this on the pod, and I've said this on my show as well. I think Justin went into the Kobe effect. Remember Kobe had like Smush Parker on his team and stuff like that? He was like, I'm not giving you the ball. Like he's like, if I give you the ball and you shoot it and you miss it, we having a conversation in the locker room. I really think Justin got into that last season where I'm getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. When I throw you the ball, you drop it every time. When I throw you the ball, you catch it 50% of the time. The only person that's catching anything here is Cole. So I'm going to just take it myself, give it to David, or I'm going to take it myself again. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't think that second year in this system, he's going to come in with that same mindset. I
hope that there are still things he can do better. Yeah. There are things, and he works on it, and he'll be the first one to tell you. So like I compare him to Derek Rose.
D-Rose, okay.
And I take the first year and I throw it out. Mm-hmm. So I'm not using his rookie year and comparing it to Derek's rookie year. Right. I'm using Justin's second year and I'm comparing it to Derek's rookie year.
Right.
And I see the highlights and the potential there. In Derek's second year, he became an all-star.
Yes.
I want now Justin to become a Pro Bowl type player and to show me. So now take that next with that continuity and everything like that. And then in his third year, become a premier player.
I'm not shorting him either. Like I'm not giving him I'm taking my mindset away from what we've cared about for the Bears, right? If a quarterback gave us 3,500 passing yards, we were like, oh man, he's going to be a premier passer. He's going to take this next step. Justin Fields should be just short of 4,000 yards this season. And the only reason I'm giving him just short is because I do think he'll probably still have to run a little bit more. But that's what quarterbacks are doing in the NFL today. 4,000 yards is almost commonplace.
We've never had it. Today. Yeah. Look, I will take it. I don't believe there's a quantifier on numbers for Justin. I believe we'll know it when we see it.
Yeah.
I think he could throw for 3,200 yards, 3,100 yards, and we'll say that's him.
Yeah.
He's made it.
Yeah.
Because we'll be watching him and we'll know that he's the dude. But I don't think he has to throw for 4 or he has to throw for 3 and 30 touchdowns. I believe we'll just watch him and we'll know that he's arrived.
I mean, but that's not, I think the crazy part is, right, like that's not an insane bar, right? Like,
it isn't. No, you're right.
Mitch's 24-12 season was what, 3,200 yards?
Right.
He should be better than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or at least, no, he should be better than that. No, I'm not going to say that.
There's like how many times has Kirk Cousins reached a certain platform?
Yeah.
And we're like, Kirk Cousins isn't that good.
Yeah.
Did I almost slip with my wording there? Kirk Cousins isn't that like, again, I don't want to put just a number on there like empty calorie stats.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we will know not based on numbers. We will know based on our eyes.
Not a Jared Goff situation, because I think Jared Goff had like 4,100 yards.
Yeah, like exactly.
He had a lot
like,
of yards.
A lot of guys
he was
do
balling
things. And like we will look at each other and we'll be sitting here doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And there will be like a game and we'll be like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now I'm all in. Yeah. I got the 3 extra inches now.
There it is. The 3 extra inches, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Chicago Bears podcast. That actually, Silvy doesn't know this. That was actually one of the names that we were going to call the pod. But we weren't. Do
you title these things, Eric? Can you title this one 3 extra inches?
That's the title of the pod.
Can you spare 3 extra inches?
Hey, we appreciate you guys for showing up, showing love as always. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page. Silvy, appreciate you for sitting in with me this week as always, man. Hey, make sure you're listening Monday through Friday. We'll be back Monday with Lance Briggs, so drop your questions in the chat as well for Lance on Monday for the 2-minute warning. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.